What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. I've got a very special guest, but first, here's a quick tip from our friends at Viper. In commercial kitchens, clean coils and evaporators are essential, and Viper's NSF registered products are the best choice. Safe, effective, and formulated to keep kitchens running smoothly. So, what is up? We have Jason back tonight. Looks like Jason's blurred out his background. We'll find out more where Jason may be. I won't pick on too much. And we have Ruchir. Messed it up. How do we say it so I don't mess it up? Ruchir from SkillCat with us, man. I've been a fan of SkillCat for a couple years now. I think I started following them when Jennifer was doing a lot of stuff on TikTok for them. I think that's how I found out about it. My son actually, he took some initiative. He wanted to get his EPA on his own, and I steered him that way, and he actually got his EPA through SkillCat, so that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So let's just get right into it. What is SkillCat, man?
Yeah, so SkillCat is a training platform for the skilled trades. We have about 1,500 hours of simulation-based training and certifications for HVAC, plumbing, electrical, appliance repair, just general maintenance. And we've trained about 300,000 people. And so, yeah, real vision, our goal is to make it a lot easier for folks to get into the skilled trades. And so, a lot of traditional trade schools are thousands of dollars. We're $10 a month, and we're easy to use, accessible, and our goal is to spread the word to everyone as much as possible to get into the trades.
That's really cool, man. $10 a month. You can just pretty much take whatever you want for $10 a month, or is there a limit to it, or just
no, whatever you want for $10 a month?
Man,
yeah,
you can put some time in for $10 a month, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are like, oh, you guys should raise your prices. I think our goal as a company is we want to stay as affordable as possible for as long as we can. And so as we build out more, we may have different tiers, but our goal is to keep everything really easy for folks to use. And if people want a scholarship or they can't afford $10 a month, which happens, we'll give it to anyone who asks. So we're all about making this really accessible to folks in every way we can.
That's cool. That's I'm going to check out some stuff you have to offer. I know Jennifer's she's always sharing some stuff, and she's always talking about, I think she's got a little discount code she throws out there.
Jennifer's the best. Yeah, she's one of our first students. So I just called her out of the blue, was calling our first few users, and she's been like an incredible supporter and advocate for what we're doing and for the trades ever since. So yeah, she's been exceptional for us. So
That's cool.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
How to get started? Like, did you just pick one certain trade and just start there, or is it just kind of you just went all crazy?
Yeah, it's a good question. So so when I was my senior year in college, I did policy research on the BP oil spill, and training was one of the biggest issues that caused that. And so built out a company right out of college, building online courses and simulations to train oil and gas workers to prevent oil spills and just make the oil industry safer. And so I grew that for a while, then went to business school. And when I came out, it was COVID, and everyone in oil and gas was getting laid off and going from these amazing jobs to working at grocery stores because they didn't really know what other industries needed workers and how to get there. And so I started seeing people who were getting into HVAC from oil and gas or kind of getting into the construction trades. And so it was like, what if we created a platform that made it easier for folks to reskill from industries like oil and gas and move into industries like HVAC, where there are massive shortages and you need a lot of similar skills like mechanical, electrical, motors. And so, yeah, that's how it got started. We were originally like a hiring platform, helping companies recruit. And we've kind of evolved since then, but just to become like this training resource for the industry. But yeah, started with oil and gas and this vision of helping people reskill and move between industries.
That's cool. So how do I say this? How do you write your curriculum? Do you reach out to people in the industry to help you out, or how does that come about?
Yeah, of course. So we have a pretty large content team that's a mixture of instructional designers who are like really great like teachers who can teach online, animators, and so we have a ton of 3D animations and graphics for all of our courses, and subject matter experts, so folks who've had years of experience in the trades, who go through and suggest what we want to create courses on, review everything, and make sure that we're covering all the right stuff. And so, I think it's very much like a 50-50 between folks who are good at e-learning and like graphics and folks who actually have years of experience in the field.
That's cool. That's a really good way to do it. Get a mix of everybody, and the best of the best people in knowledge in the situation, and people that are good at creating the content and making it user friendly, and the way people learn. That's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's the idea. And so we're always getting better. I think like when we first started, I always tell the story that like when we first launched our app, we were like 2 stars in the Play Store and like in the App Store, 2 out of 5 stars. And people had all sorts of frustrations about how we were teaching stuff and like our app, and we've worked on that. And so now we're like 4.9 stars with like 4,000 or 5,000 reviews, and it's been like feedback is really a gift, right? And so I think we still get a lot of techs who give us feedback on our courses, and we're always trying to improve, make them more applied, more engaging, more interesting, and just cover a lot more content. So, we're all about getting feedback and getting better.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm really excited to hear that you're growing this. What are some of the new trades or the new sectors you're wanting to reach out and get into?
So right now, I'm still pretty focused on construction. So there's a lot more we want to do within kind of the construction trade. So we honestly, commercial kitchens, we have a lot of HVAC. We don't do that much on like hot kitchen equipment. We have a lot of appliance, like kind of residential appliance stuff, but we'd love to do more kind of on the commercial kitchen side. We're doing more advanced HVAC. So we just started this partnership with Brian Orr and HVAC School. We're actually taking all of the HVAC School content and putting it onto the SkillCat platform. So building out courses that get into much more advanced concepts and areas within HVAC. And so there's like a lot of expansion we see in HVAC. We also want to get into and do a lot more in plumbing, a lot more in electrical, a lot more in commercial kitchens. And then everything beyond that, the sky is the limit. There's so many trades, and we get people all the time reaching out from automotive and solar and wind, and so I think there's a lot of potential in other areas as well, but we want to do a really good job first, within home service and kind of commercial service before we move out of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Really focus and get what you have going now built out and really
so much. Yeah, there's so much material. There's so much to know. So
yeah, that collaboration with Brian Orr is huge. I seen that and I was like, man, that's pretty big. It says a lot about what you're doing over there. That Brian and the team over there believe in it, and then want to be a part of it. So that's really cool.
Yeah, we're really, really honored to be working with him and the team. And I think you can ask Brian this, but I think from our conversations with him, what excited him about us was not that everything's perfect about our app or our content yet, but it's this vision of how do you keep training affordable, and how do you bring millions of people into the industry, and how do you constantly improve and do better? And we're in this for the long haul. So our goal is not to build a tech company, screw a lot of people, and leave and sell the company. We're building something we want to be around forever, and build something that people use and benefit from forever. And so yeah, I think that's where we really connected with Brian about building something the industry can benefit from forever.
Sweet. That's really cool. So what will I say? Trying to figure out how to word this. I'm terrible tonight. It's been a long day. I had a huge install, went sideways, and then a little incident on the highway. I didn't get in a wreck, but a little incident on the highway. So I'm kind of a little distraught here. So let me get focused back on this. So yeah. HVAC School. So you're going to take all of his content and upload it into training sectors on your platform, then?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much incredible content with HVAC School. So the idea is we can kind of break it down and make it more organized and add certificates and, actually create a path out of that folks can do to either get into the industry and grow and like level up. And all of our training is accredited through IACET, where you get CEUs for everything you accomplish on the platform. And so we'll be able to give out those certificates for pretty much anything. Yeah, any of the HVAC school content. So it's a huge project, but our team is up for the challenge, and it's been really great there's some exceptional content there. So it's so good.
Yeah, I teach refrigeration for CFESA, which is Commercial Food Equipment Service Association. And it's kind of like our sanctioning body for what we do. They kind of like set the standards and practices for what we do. And I use a lot of his stuff because a lot of his stuff is just great, and he does a really good job breaking down and explaining it. So I use several of his videos in my class to like show people how to do stuff, and he does a really good job. So it's gonna be cool to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're really excited about it.
Jason, you all right back there?
Mm-hmm. I'm just listening.
Yeah, you're good. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I'm exhausted too, but I'm excited to be on here and hear everything about SkillCat because I'm looking forward to recommending it to quite a few people. I was just actually texting a buddy of mine saying, hey, it's practically free. I mean, it's kind of like one of those commercials. If for $10 a day, you can feed a struggling, inspiring HVAC technician.
Yeah,
just kidding. But no, I'm excited because I was telling him before the show that I know people who ended up working with me who've gone through SkillCat, and I think it's such a great opportunity for people.
I mean, it's awesome to hear. It's like I just like hearing anything like that is so cool for us because we've been chugging away at this, and like over time we somehow trained 300,000 people, but it's like they're all over the country. We never like it's so great to hear these stories of like actual people being hired, and and we were free for a long time. So for us, it's all about just getting more people out there access to all this training.
So do you have like companies that come to you like, hey, we want to set something up for our guys. Like, can we, partner with you and, set a path like, hey, we want to do this, and this. Do you offer that kind of services?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have kind of two parts to the platform. One is individuals who want to grow and learn. And so these are a bunch of folks who want to break into the industry or any of the trades, and people who are already in the trades but just want more support and guidance, want to keep growing. And then, a bunch of companies we work with where they have a dashboard where they can assign training and monitor progress of all of their technicians all through the platform. So we work with a lot of companies like that, including, Kalos. So that was kind of with Brian Orr, they use it at Kalos as well. So
sweet. So you tailor it for individuals and for companies that they'd like. So that's really good. That's really good to offer.
Yeah. Because I mean, I think a lot of people who are the gung ho technicians will, find a way to pay for this and keep learning and keep growing. And then you get a lot of folks where they want their company to pay for it. And so, companies will want to like grow their population of technicians and support people. It's been really useful. Like a lot of the companies we work with are also in like multifamily maintenance and like facilities maintenance, where there's just a lot of techs are just thrown in, no previous training, and then they have to learn a little bit of every single trade to do their job. And so that's where, we work with a lot of companies that just want to help, provide more resources for their teams.
That's cool. I'm definitely going to be looking into that. I'm one of those guys that I always want to learn new stuff. Like I reach out, I search out. I've said this time and time again on here that, there's two different types of technicians. There's technicians that expects, their company to pay for everything they learn. And those are guys generally, they'll do all right. They'll do good. They'll be good technicians. But if you really want to be, top level, top tier technician, you're going to search that stuff out on your own. Your company's going to benefit from it, but in the long run, you're going to benefit even more. I tell guys every day, if you want to make, if you want to be that top tier technician, you're going to have to do this on your own too. You can't expect your employer or whoever or the union hall to teach everything you need to know. So,
so that's the idea, is we can make it as easy as possible and make it fun. And so that's why we're trying to make all of our training really engaging. So it's interesting to go through.
Yeah, I need to play around with it. I need to see what's going on with it. So is it like step-by-step guided stuff, or is it just a mix of all different kinds of learning styles and techniques?
It's a mix of things. So I think there's a lot of like conceptual stuff of like how things work. And then we have a lot of simulations as well, where you can actually kind of get virtual, almost, as close to hands-on as possible, but digital, where you actually move things around as if you're, kind of like a video game.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then now we're trying to make things a lot more applied as well. So yeah, so it's a mix of things. But yeah, I would love to hear your feedback when you get a chance to go through. We'll get you a login.
Sweet. Yeah, I did an online training thing years ago, and it was like you had to move the meter leads around. It was like so cumbersome and such a pain in the butt. And this was years and years ago, so I'm sure it's a lot different now. But back then, I was like, this is a pain in the butt, man. So I'm glad to see that you got a mix of everything out there. I'm gonna check it out. I'll probably make some videos and put it out there if you don't mind. So
of course not. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'd love showing off different techniques, different trainings, and give everybody a chance to learn. Let me go through the comments right here. SkillCat is super affordable, and they can also hook into company learning management systems. So that's cool. I have no video.
You were frozen a few times.
Oh, was it just not moving, or is it frozen?
It's frozen now.
Jeez, I'm just losing tonight. I couldn't get my sound to work earlier. Now my camera's acting up.
Sounds pretty good, man. Keep it going.
Yeah, it sounds great. Just you got frozen though.
You don't see me anyway. They'll shut it off. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll take it from here.
So, do you have anything big or exciting coming up for this year that you want to talk about, or something that you're proud of, or you guys are working towards?
So a bunch of things actually. So I think one thing we're really excited about is we're building out training for licenses.
Okay.
And we want to do that in every state. And so it's a huge project, but we want to build out license training and CEUs for licenses for HVAC, plumbing, and electrical in every state. And so we're just getting started, but we've dramatically increased our content team recently. And so I'm trying to build out that license training everywhere. Another thing, we're also launching a pretty cool nonprofit organization called the Grit Foundation. This is actually me and Brian Orr. And we're building out a series of camps for kids to get young people excited about the skill trades. And so we just had our first Grit Lab, is what we're calling it, in Orlando, and it went really, really well. And so we're looking for contractors all over the country that can host these labs, the 2-day labs, to get kids really, really excited and gung-ho about the trades. And so that's something I'm really excited about and has been really fun to put together. So.
That's a huge undertaking. I mean, every state and even some municipalities are completely different than what the state requires. I don't envy you on that one.
Yeah, it's very ambitious, but I think we want to be able to make that accessible for everyone, because I think everybody wants to keep growing in the trades. And so if you can offer all of those pathways, we can get a lot. I think the only way we can, stay sustainable as a company at $10 a month is we need a lot of people on the platform, and we need to bring them a lot of value. And so it really helps align our incentives, where we're always growing, always focused on improving our platform, because we want folks to stay on the platform their whole lives and bring everyone they know onto the platform as well.
Yeah, I remember when Rich was trying to get his license, he was sending us pictures of books, just like stacks and stacks of books. I'm like, this is crazy. I mean, he did it. He put his nose to it, and he did it. So I'm proud of him. But that'd be awesome to have, a clear path, or a more defined path to get there, versus just read all these books and hopefully you read the right information and get it. So
yeah, that's the plan. That's the goal.
Yeah, my video is not working on Facebook or YouTube. Way to go, Pat. That's an epic fail tonight. Sweet. So are you going to we were talking before the show started. I'm going to be at AHR. Are you going to be at AHR? Are you going down there?
Yeah, we'll be at Symposium and AHR. And so most of our team is actually coming down for the whole 10 days or whatever. So I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to be down there the whole time too. So I'll meet you at the Symposium in person, and we can talk about it there.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. This is the first time I've been to that.
No, I've never been to Symposium or AHR. So I'm actually super pumped. I've heard AHR is crazy. It's like 1 million people.
Yeah.
That's not an understatement. It's pretty, But that's going to be a perfect place for you and your company. to share. I mean, you're going to be surrounded by like-minded people, and I promise you're going to run into people who are where they are now because, they started with SkillCat.
I'm really excited for that. So
yeah, it's a fun event. Do you guys have a booth set up at the symposium, or are you just there?
we have a booth set up for symposium. Yeah.
So, and then AHR, you're just gonna be wandering the floor, or
AHR will be at the HVAC school booth. So
okay.
kind of, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. Yeah, since you guys are working together, that'd be a hopping in booth. I'll swing by there for sure.
Yeah, please. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And I think we'll be at the HVAC Tactical Awards too. At least I will be. I don't know if you guys are.
Oh yeah,
we'll be there.
Yeah. Jason and I and our wives will be there. We'll be all decked out, ready to go. I'm excited for that. It's gonna be a fun one. This is my 4th year, I think, going.
Oh wow! No, I've never been. I'm also super pumped.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Tux.
I'm not doing a tux. I will be dressed up, but I won't be a tux. I'm not that. I'm not where I want to be to rent a tux right now. So
that's my concern as well. Is like, will I actually fit into a tux right now? But
that was me. Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to rent a tux and go down there and then like, oh, it just doesn't look like whatever. So
yeah.
So I got a suit, or I guess I'll be decked out. Probably not as nice as Mr. Latimer there will be, but
yeah, tux.
Maybe
not.
I'm excited. Expectations are high.
It's the Tactical Awards is like its own little thing, and it grows every year. There's red carpet. You come in, you do an interview, you get your pictures taken.
5-course meal.
Yeah, there's a meal. Oh, wow. There's a happy hour beforehand. I think there's an after party this year, I think. So it's gonna be a blast for sure.
Yeah, that sounds sweet. No, I'm super pumped. You guys doing the whole podcast circuit there?
Yep. We recording daily at 10 o'clock. I did one show a day. I got some other commitments I want to do. I guess I got a booth appearance I'm gonna announce probably next week. I'm doing a partnership with another podcast, social media guy. So I'm really excited for that one. But it's a lot to take in, man. AHR, it's vast. There's free stuff everywhere. It's wild. First time it was Vegas, and I walked 10 miles before I went to the show one day, and then I went to the show and walked 10 more miles inside a building. So
yeah, wear some sneakers for sure.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So that's cool. How many people do you have on your team full time?
So we have a pretty big team now. So we have a bunch of contractors that are overseas as well. I would say in total about 40 to 50 people. So we'll have about 7 folks at AHR and Symposium. So yeah,
it's still a pretty good turnout and crew for you to have there, though.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot. It'll be really great. So we have a big house that everyone's in it, crashing together. So it'll be fun.
Nice. Yeah, there's always some after parties, and I hear some rumors about some meetups after the symposium one day. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, that's great.
We got EC to fix. He goes, there is and always will be a huge demand for commercial cooking, kitchen equipment repair training. Hint, hint. So, yeah, I'm sure he's going to work more into it. You got to find the right contributor and contractor to help out with that, and I think it'll be a huge success and huge demand. Training in our sector is kind of weird. You have Safesa that does it, and then you have some manufacturers that do some online stuff. You have some manufacturers do in person. Some companies do offer more than others. Our industry is kind of a free for all. It's kind of weird. There's not really a whole, like HVAC. You can go to every city or every major city, and there's an HVAC school there or something that will teach you that trade. And there's not really that there for us. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really interesting. No, that seemed like a big opportunity. Is there particular equipment that you think there's like a lot of people struggle with within the kind of the hot equipment space?
It's kind of weird because there's tons of different manufacturers, and every manufacturer does it completely different. Everything's proprietary. I say it all the time, but I've been doing this almost 20 years. And when I started, I'd never imagined there'd be an iPad on the front of an oven or a fryer. It's wild. But I mean, if you could just start with the basics, I think that'd be a huge thing. Very basic stuff and just build up from there. And you can catch demand, see what people want as far as demand or what they're looking for, and you can go from there. But I think the basics would probably just be the best bet to start, and you probably a lot of people actually interested in it. Like I did a video on a thermopile fryer and Louisville fryer, and like the people watching that was actually blows my mind. I'm like, people watch this, but I did say in that video that's like the most misdiagnosed piece of equipment in the kitchen. It's the simplest and the most diagnosed piece. So
yeah, that's fascinating. I will definitely at some point we definitely want to do more in that area. We've been asked about it a lot, so we're coming for it.
Well, I have to say that Pat's someone you'll definitely want to partner with for some advisory at the very least, but he's really good and he teaches this stuff around the clock. So
no, I've heard great things. So
I appreciate that. You know what? If you enjoy what you do, it makes it fun. It's a passion. Just like this, I love getting on here and talking about what we do as an industry. I love highlighting technicians and other people involved in trades and showing them off, just because I never imagined I'd be where I'm at now. And I've lived comfortably. I do dumb stuff. I spend money on what I want. I don't worry about it. But it's all because I work hard and I enjoy what I do, and it makes it that much, better.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the secret, right, to life. If you enjoy what you're doing, like it doesn't really feel like work, right? You spend most of your life at work, so it really should be something you enjoy. So we try to do with our company as well.
Nice. We got Ty Brannaman in here. We got a full house, man. Excited to see so many people in here. Sweet. Go through here.
Hey, Ty.
So ECD Fix, he said, HVAC is a good foundation, but it's just a start when it comes to, doing hot side stuff. It's weird because you can look at an oven, let's just say a South Bend oven. They have the same in-shot burners that you'd see on like a Carrier rooftop unit or a Carrier furnace. It's the same gas valves, the same igniters, the same flame sensor. So a lot of that stuff is exactly the same. It's just instead of it being in a furnace or an air handler, it's in an oven. And it's just get people to realize that so much of it is actually the same principles, same processes to work through. And I think if most people realize that and get past the greasy part or the dirty part, I think they'd be all right.
Yeah, EC's got a good point there, because we talked about this on the Misfits about, HVAC in general put me where I'm at now. Outside of learning HVAC, I don't know if I'd be working on commercial cooking equipment and whatnot. But I always say, hey, HVAC is a good start because you're learning some plumbing with, drain lines and things of that nature. You're learning heating, refrigeration, and obviously the first thing in any technical school is electrical safety. So, you could take a little bit of HVAC and be good to go to be a maintenance technician. You can transition into being a plumber, an electrician. You can just do furnaces and whatnot. But it really does open the door, like he said. And outside of me going into HVAC, I don't think I would have ever made it here, which I love commercial cooking, refrigeration, because my foundation is hospitality. So yeah, it's been a blessing. So with SkillCat and the reach that you guys have and the ever-growing reach you're going to continue to have, I think again, you're going to definitely be teaching a lot of people some great things, and people are going to have a really good, what I like to call a standard of living. If you do a job in demand, and I tell this to people, because when I went to my first college after I got my GED, they were like, hey, you need to pick something you want to go to school for, and we recommend that you do something that's a job in demand. So I'm like, what's a job in demand? They're like, a job that can't be shipped overseas, a job that's recession proof, a job that's what we just found out, pandemic proof, because I don't think I worked more in my life when COVID happened and where people were staying home. I went from working 60 hours a week to 80 hours a week, so at the end of the day, the trades can really give you a nice 9 to 5 where you're on call sometimes. But I replaced working 3 jobs around the clock to make $30,000 a year with one job, working 9 to 5 and being on call sometime and jumping straight to 50, the next year, 55, 65, the next year, 75, the next year. You shoot straight up to 6 figures probably within 4 years if you're intentional, and if you invest in yourself and whatnot, and what Pat said earlier, sometimes you just have to invest in yourself. this is a blessing to have an opportunity to learn and get your EPA for $10 a month. That's a no-brainer. And like you mentioned earlier, college. I went to tech school, so I got an associate's in facility maintenance. I got an associate's in HVAC. Both of those were upwards of 12 to 15,000.
Mm-hmm.
Did I pay those off the first year? Heck yeah. Because it's HVAC, and the trades.
Right. Like that's like no one can say that from going to college. You can pay back your loans of like $250,000 in a year. So
100%.
Nobody realizes. Like I try to preach this on my LinkedIn and like social media all the time now. Is because I have all these. Everyone on my LinkedIn is all these people from, all these white collar desk jobs, like tech people, and nobody realizes how incredible trade jobs are, and how much more job security there is in the trades than in most office jobs right now. I mean, so many people have been laid off because of ChatGPT for marketing jobs and
I was about to say that.
Writing jobs, copywriting jobs. Like that's just not going to happen to the trade. So there's these are like phenomenal jobs. Like I completely agree. So.
Yeah, let me follow up on what you just said there about the ChatGPT. You're right. I'm almost damn confident that if I were to go to court, that I could, forego getting an attorney and use my ChatGPT. But my point is that even something as difficult and in depth as law, can be pulled up on your phone, so quickly, just using, any up-to-date AI or whatnot.
Yeah.
But no, you can't use AI to fix your stuff, but people need to, let me caution you here on the other end here is that at the end of the day, our infrastructure in this country is poor. We have a very poor infrastructure, and eventually, we need to get on top of getting those things fixed and bringing shop back to schools. But people don't realize that if a bridge falls and we don't have the people locally to fix that in our country, where people are scared of jobs being outsourced, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have enough skilled trades here in this country that we're going to find people from other countries here doing work that we should be doing. And I'm not trying to be an isolationist or anything like that. I don't make this political, but the infrastructure is in dire need in this country. This is an emergency to me, in my opinion. We need to reintroduce trades to everyone and not shun it. And where people talk about, tech school over tech school over college, things like that. And I get it. I get it. There needs to be more blue collar, mixed in with the white collar, especially with the ChatGPT thing. But, at the end of the day, we need doctors, we need lawyers, we need all that. And people just need to understand that it's great, because I don't want an HVAC technician doing brain surgery or heart surgery. I mean, I do want that person who was intentional and wanted to be a doctor, who wanted to be a lawyer to represent someone, to do that. There's plenty of work. There is more pie than there are people to eat it at the end of the day. So, no shame on no one. We all need everyone. But for people who feel that there is just nothing out there to do, and I'm not going to be a doctor, I'm not going to be a cop, I can be, the trades will take care of you. It definitely took care of me. And I was on Josh Zolin's show, and I busted out my my SSIGov.com history from going back to 16 years old. And it shows, if you go on there, what you made, what you claimed each year. And immediately after I finished HVAC school, you can see where I jumped. And, I have it in paper. It's a career testimonial of what the trades have done for me, where I worked 3 jobs in hospitality, which I love, but now I can work 1 job in hospitality on the fixing side and take care of my family. There's a lot of options out there if you're intentional and you want to look for them. And there's a lot of resources out there like SkillCat, so there is no excuse, like I said, for $10 a day or a month, excuse me. It's a joke, but
that's great. But yeah. I mean, I think so. One of the reasons, like when I was raising money for SkillCat initially, it was like one of the big numbers I came across on is since the 70s, income for non-college educated men has gone down like 20% in real terms, like just for inflation and everything else. And that's crazy, because for almost every other group, income has gone up a lot. And this is because folks have been laid off from industries like manufacturing and all of these industries. They've never been able to, they've never reskilled into all of these other trades that do have a huge shortage. You don't need a college degree and you can make a crazy amount of money. And so Yeah, I think people need to know, and we need to change perceptions about the skilled trades everywhere. So
Agreed.
yeah.
Agreed. And that's what we're doing right now, all of us. And again, thank you for coming on and sharing your story and your journey and what you're trying to do for people, because it's selfless at the end of the day, because you could probably take that app and charge whatever you want, but that's very selfless of you, and it's much appreciated.
I believe this comment is from Greg Christensen. Don't hold me to it, but I think so. My stuff's being weird tonight. But he said skilled trades are ideal. 2 stellar plumbers or other skilled trades can build a 500K plus service and repair business in just a few years. We definitely have a skilled trades gap. Adjacent infrastructure is way past being maintained. You're spot on. And that's true, man. I mean, you see guys all the time, they may work 4 or 5 years, they get licensed, they go out on their own. And next thing you know it, they're the next big guy. They're the next big player on the block. They're, 5-10 vans in. They're making, 7 figures a year revenue from those guys. I mean, it doesn't take much, just, some dedication and a little bit of hard work, and you can make a big difference in people's lives.
You don't have to be what they call, what do you call that? I forgot the word where you're kind of born into it. Where it's just a given. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of upstarts like Rich and friends of mine who are completely different than the norm or the legacy. That's the word I'm looking for. Like these legacy companies that, and there's nothing wrong with your folks building something and leaving it to you and nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of what people call upstarts, people disruptors that are just, not going the route that a lot of our industry seniors have, so it's being smart in this day and age in technology, using things like SkillCat. You don't have to send all your employees. I remember, because I went to tech school between 2010 to 2014, and a lot of the techs, their employers were paying for them to go to those schools. Their employers were paying $12,000 to $15,000 to send their employee to sit next to me, at the same technical school. And things, and there's nothing wrong with technical schools, because God knows we need them, but not everyone can afford to even do what I did for the most part. And again, there's these options out there, and it's not just SkillCat. There's so many other resources, but again, you have to be intentional. You have to look for those things and whatnot. And, Pat and I are trying, and Rich are trying to promote those things, and by having guests on like yourself and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I love that you guys are doing that. I mean, you guys have talked to so many fascinating people who are pushing the trade forward. So,
yeah, I appreciate that. It's fun. It's turned into a passion. At first, it was like something I just wanted to do, but it's really turned into, Jason, Rich, and I have conversations every day about how to grow this, or, what can we do to get, people out there. We've had people reach out for jobs. We had, some guys that, are wanting to go out on their own or start their own business and reach out to us. And it's really cool just to get those stories where someone's like, hey, we had a guy that worked on air compressors, commercial industrial air compressors. And he ended up coming over to the, the food service side, and he loves it. And it's really cool to get those messages. It seems like it's always when I'm down in the dumps and I'm like, I'm not making a difference, and I get that one message and it turns it all around for me.
Yeah, 100%. We feel exactly the same way. It's like whenever our team is struggling or stressed, we'll go through and read some of our reviews or look for testimonials, and it's like it turns it all around because it puts it in perspective, right? Because you help one person, like you've made a huge impact already. So
you're contributing and you're participating, and they're all the alternate path they might be taking. I loved, when I was working in restaurants and hotels, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But I have a family and things of that nature. If I didn't have a family, I don't think I would even gotten to this. I would have just been so content with just, being a bartender and serving and the hospitality thing. But, at the end of the day, if you want more, you got to do more, so having a family was like, hey, I really need to be home for homework, sometimes and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got to take care of the family first. That's always first.
Yeah.
So do you guys track how many hours people are on the app and learning each year?
That's a good question. No, probably. We have the information, but I don't actually know it offhand. Nice. But it varies, right? So there's some people who are super gung-ho and have gone through and taken every course, right? So these are just stellar folks who want to keep growing and learning and go through and take everything. And then you have folks who come in for maybe just their EPA or, one course or one certification, and then they bounce. And so it's really a spectrum. And a lot of the folks who come for some one thing come back later. They'll come for one certification, they'll leave, and they'll come back a few months later for something new. But we have some real go-getters on the platform who've taken literally everything. So.
I bet the analytics are fascinating, to be honest. I mean, if you can go back to when you first started, and for, on average, this many people, I'm sure the highest is the EPA. I'm just speculating here.
The EPA become really popular.
EPA is that the most popular program on there?
That's probably pretty close. Yeah, I think that's.
I'm sure that the traffic's driven that way because people here. I mean, aside, you said that you guys do more. I was always told the EPA. So even before I became a facilities manager, I was telling employees before I left my service company, I'm like, hey, you want to check out SkillCat? It's affordable. That's where you want to go. If not, go spend the money and go to school. But and it's nothing wrong with either one of those. But,
no, EPA is definitely extremely popular, and then I think. We have NATE training, and so that's pretty popular. We also have
really,
Oh, I
didn't know that.
Yeah, and then we also have we offer a trade school, so kind of equivalent of what you would do in person, but all of it online with simulations. So that's pretty popular across a couple of areas, and then. Those are some of the things that are the most popular. But then people come in for one-off courses on a whole bunch of different things as well.
Well, that's great, man. Especially, I mean, NATE's well known, So I mean, if you're helping with people being able to further along in their passing of NATE, that's pretty cool. Are they able to proctor through you guys, or you just provide you do? Okay,
right now it's just the training. We're working on the proctoring. So we're actually I just had a long call with NATE today. So we're working on getting the exams and everything onto SkillCat as well.
So if someone takes your NATE courses and then go and pass the NATE, are they reporting back to you so that you can recover that information on what the success of maybe graduation success is for those who passed NATE who went through your program?
Sometimes
it's self-reporting for the most part. They have to self-report.
Yeah. Okay. We're trying to get the exams on the platform so it's really seamless, like we do EPA, and so. We're in process to integrate all of that right now.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
So Jason, I'm scrolling the website right now and he's got a mechanical aptitude soft skills course.
Ooh.
This is I would love to show you guys. I'll send you guys a link after and send anyone who wants one a link. But we actually built out a really cool assessment where we basically took this task of it's kind of like a hiring assessment when you're hiring someone new to assess their mechanical aptitude, where you have a game. You have to virtually take apart a bunch of piping. And we give you directions, instructions. You can ask questions through the app, or you can just dive in. And we measure everything you click and do as you go through this. And we kind of assess, hey, how good are you mechanically? How well do you read directions and follow instructions? And how well can you learn new mechanical things from scratch? So it's been a really useful tool for a lot of companies to assess new people, especially when they're brand new to the trades.
So it's not a pass-fail. It's more like a placement test.
Yeah, it's more like a placement test.
Gotcha. You want to scare these kids off, man. You tell them it's pass or fail. I went to a Safesa class for gas, electric, steam, water, and they had us all freaked out thinking that we had to take this test for an aptitude, but if you didn't pass it, you had to go home. Had us all freaked out.
I could see Dan telling you guys that just to mess with you.
Oh yeah, it was Dan Reese. 100%.
It was great. You're thinking of OSHA 10. I just scrolling through here. There's all kinds of stuff. I think I'm gonna sign my son back up. He took his EPA and he's getting ready to start some refrigeration training. So I think I'm gonna sign him back up and have him check out some of the stuff you guys have to offer because there's a ton of stuff on here, man. I'm just scrolling through and it's just page after page after page. And it's broke down pretty cool. It's broke down by specific things. There's dryers, there's central vacuum systems, chillers. It's broke down to where you can find what you want to do and you're not bogged down, trying to work through everything they have. So it's cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's the goal. So, and we're adding more and more every day. So, we're looking to have pretty much anything and everything people need in the trade. So that's the goal.
Sweet.
Love it.
Well, anything else you want to cover, Jason?
Me? Oh,
Nope. Nope, you're good. All right. Well, I think we're going to call it. It's been coming up on 45 minutes. It's a ton of information. I'm really excited to check out what you have to offer. Like I said, I'm going to get my son signed back up and have him start doing some refrigeration stuff on his own. He's like me. He likes to be a go-getter and learn on his own. He went after his EPA on his own. He's been pushing for the refrigeration on his own. And I think he will get a lot of good stuff out of it. So
that's awesome. He can go through the trade school. I think the HVAC trade school is probably perfect. He can go through that whole program and get a diploma at the end.
So do you have any kind of material or a landing page for, let's say, if you're an employer, like, hey, go, like, this is a link, you go here, this will explain to that employer, hey, this is a program we have that you might be interested for your employees that you can do in-house or however they want to set that up. Is there stuff like that or material for teachers at an instructor at a tech school or stuff like that?
Yeah, of course. So if you go to our website, you can click on, there's like a for businesses section where folks can go and see all the offerings we have for institutions and companies.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
That's very thoughtful. Thank you, man. Thank you.
So let's give everybody where they can find SkillCat. So it's on every app store, correct?
Yeah, App Store, Play Store. You can go to our website, skillcat.com. And feel free to email us if you have any questions. I'm just Ruchir at skillcatapp.com. So yeah, happy to answer any questions, or if you have any feedback, if you hate something, like I think techs are never shy about any of this. So like
we ain't got time to be shy.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the next time he comes on, I mean, let's do this in let's do a follow-up. Maybe we can give him the screen if he wants to actually take control and show us some of the things that he's doing on his site. We'd love to let you present some things on the show.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So perhaps SkillCat has a course on how to fix Pat's camera.
That's dirty.
We'll work on it. That's a great idea.
I'm about to upload the whole video now. This is great. I love it. Well, I really appreciate you coming on talking about SkillCat. I've been a huge fan. I'm even a bigger fan now.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to meet you in a couple of weeks. See you.
Absolutely.
You'll meet Jason at the Tactical Awards and at AHR.
Perfect.
So check out SkillCat on the App Store, everywhere you can find it. SkillCatApp.com is the website. Go through there. There's a lot of cool information. If you want to plug any of your social medias or anybody can follow you anywhere, now's your chance.
I mean, check it out. So SkillCat we're doing a lot of stuff on TikTok. We're trying a bunch of cool things. It's mostly me ranting about trades related frustrations and people not realizing how awesome trade jobs are. If you want to see any of that content, TikTok is great. LinkedIn, I've been posting a lot. So if you're on LinkedIn, I think those are two big channels. And yeah, but we also have Facebook, all the above. So check us out. Yeah.
I appreciate it. And I will see you in a few short weeks.
Awesome. Sounds great. Thank you.
Have a good night, guys.